practice paying off.
The green team's banning someone now.
Hello everybody, this is Ice³ bringing you a DotA is Hard in-house game for this Wednesday night evening. Wednesday night evening is correct, you heard it here first, folks. Anyway, let's get into it. Wisp ban first. Standard? No. Everyone hates Wisp for some reason. If you watch the International, you'd understand why. Whoever had Wisp won the fucking game. Why it wasn't banned? Who doesn't know? Who knows? Who knows?
5 seconds remaining.
Anyway, we see a Lifestealer ban next,
Radiant
so
team banned.
another pretty standard ban. If, well, no ifs really. Lifestealer, he's got a free BKB, you know? Shit's crazy. Not to mention he can slow people down quite easily, so
5 seconds remaining.
obvious
Bad
choice
boys
there.
banning someone now.
Batrider is next. Batrider, holy shit,
Radiant
Batrider.
team pick.
Hate versing him, absolutely hate it. Hate playing with him, to be honest, because most people suck with him, like, you know. You get the people who are like, oh yeah, I can play him, I'm a
Dire
professional.
team pick.
Feed, you know, game over. Outworld Destroyer is also banned, so make it easy for int heroes, or any heroes really, to win. And then we start with our picks. On the Radiant side we have a Nyx Assassin. So first support, unless he goes mid, but I don't plan on seeing that happening too soon, but either way, it's
5
Nyx
seconds
Assassin.
remaining.
So now
Reserve
for our
time.
our two picks for the DotA side. Be interested to see who we actually see get picked up. It'll be interesting, and nevertheless. Into the reserve time. Having a think about this pick. Waiting. Nature's Prophet, so we've got our offlane / jungler, so excellent pushing potential. Always gonna watch out for them split pushes with the Nature's Prophet around. 20-second teleport, it's fucking ridiculous, that's for sure. Second pick for the DotA now. Interesting to see who we actually see.
5 seconds remaining.
Still need a mid and 2 supports plus
Reserve
a carry,
time.
so unless Prophet goes somewhere else, but I don't see that happening. He could jump in the jungle, however, and they could send another offlane, but you don't see that too often. You see a Rubik, so our second support, or our
Radiant team pick.
first support I should say, is a Rubik. Excellent for tri-laning. Always love a Rubik. And we see Jakiro get picked up on the Radiant side, so everyone loves a good twin-headed dragon as well. Favorite hero from DotA 1. It's always good to see him, especially with his ice path, which is ridiculous. Storm Spirit getting banned in the second lot of bans, so obviously not wanting to see a Storm Spirit. We see our third ban for the DotA. Will be interesting to see who they ban. They're going to ban Naga, in fact, so we won't be seeing the Naga in this game. Just one quick second, guys. Oops. All good. Alrighty. Fourth ban for the Radiant side.
5 seconds remaining.
5 seconds to go. Who will they pick?
Reserve
Who will
time.
they ban, I should say. I'm not too sure. Probably thinking more mids perhaps, but Storm Spirit's a pretty big heavy blow, so we won't be seeing any Storm Spirit anyway. I don't know. I'm not too sure. They're going to, in fact, they're Magma, so they're going to go for that extra mid ban. Not going to see him.
Dire team pick.
And we also see a Darkseer, so an offlane pick, or a mid pick, or a jungle pick, so no Darkseer in this game either. Not to mention the amazing team fight potential he has. It's quite fantastic. Never want to verse a Darkseer, especially one that knows what he's doing. Third ban for the
5
Dire.
seconds remaining.
We still need a carry, a mid, and another
Reserve
support.
time.
Interesting to see which way they're going to go with this next pick. Slowly ticking through the reserve time. Only 30 seconds in a sec, so...
Lena.
I see Lena, so our second support hero gets picked up
Radiant team pick.
for the Dire. And Radiant immediately answer back with the Weaver. So we have our offlane Weaver. Weaver is such a strong hero, especially for an offlane. He can, if he gets his levels, he can go crazy. Fourth pick for the Dire. Who will we see? I'm not too sure, honestly. What they're thinking anyway. We still need a
5
carry
seconds
and a
remaining.
mid.
Reserve time.
So who will they go? Who will they go? Who will they go indeed? 10 seconds left in the reserve time, and they're going to pick their offlane Bounty Hunter.
Radiant
So,
team.
where does that put Furion then? Unless Lena goes into the mid lane, and Nature's Prophet goes as the support slash jungle, I'm not too sure how this actually works. So. It's very interesting, actually. So. We get our, we see the Radiant pick up there. Radiant pick up their carry, hard carry, Alchemist, so they'll be wanting this game to go into late game for sure. Well, with Alchemist you don't even have to get into late game, because his late game is everyone else's mid game, especially if you get free farm on that bottom safe lane. That being said though, we might see a Weaver go into the safe lane and Alchemist go in the suicide lane by himself, but I highly doubt that. Feel free to prove me wrong, but, you know, I'd prefer a really farmed Alchemist than a not so farmed Alchemist. We see a Treant ban, so...
The green team's banning someone now.
Well, in fact, the Treant ban's quite weird, actually, because they don't need another support. They actually need a mid, unless Nyx Assassin goes mid, but... it's a weird ban. We see Gyrocopter banned by the Radiant, and well, that really, well, that's just standard, especially with that lineup. Yeah, it's a great hero to ban, so we won't be seeing that Gyro anyway. Well, okay, for the last pick, that Treant ban, that's just got to be like, why would you ban Treant, especially when they've already got the two supports? Like, they might be thinking that Nyx Assassin might go mid, but you don't often see it. And we see our mid pick up with the Juggernaut, so looks like it's going to be a... Oh, unless Furion goes mid and Juggernaut goes to the carry position, to the number 1. Anyhow, 5th pick for the Radiant, 5th and last, and who are we going to see? What hero is going to be our mid lane hero.
5 seconds remaining.
And we're going to see a Bloodseeker. Oh, yuck. Bloodseeker. What a disgusting, disgusting pick. I say that kiddingly though, because, you know, Bloodseeker, no one likes versing him. But, we see Bloodseeker anyhow. Welcome to a Captain's Mode game, Bloodseeker. I know you don't see many of them, but... Anyway, as we get into this game, we have our teams. Alright, so... On the Radiant side, we have a Bloodseeker, Vivid on Bloodseeker, Roman on Jakiro, Metu on the Weaver. I'm going to need Rayphosaurus is it? On the Alchemist, and Soapy Cub on the Nyx Assassin. And guys, if I get any of your names wrong, feel free to correct me in chat message. Anyhow, on the Diet lane, we see a car on the Grand Magus. The Grand Magus Lubick. And we see K on the Juggernaut. Lena, Lisbine on Lelina. In our top lane, we see EJ on the Bounty Hunter. And in mid, we're going to have the J-Bone on the Nature's Prophet. Alrighty. Should be a very good game. So we're going to see an aggressive tri-lane by the Juggernaut, Lena, and Rubik. Interesting choice for an aggressive. Honestly, I think of their lineup more as more of more of a defensive tri-lane, but that doesn't seem the case. Nyx Assassin, Jakiro, and Alchemist. Yeah, well, you know, Alchemist you want in that safe lane carry. He's going to be getting as much as he can. So we have 2 sentries already been put down. When the Radiant come up to this camp, they should hopefully see it. And Jakiro is going to come see it just too late, just after the 30 seconds. So he will miss the first camp spawn. Anyway, as we get started, I believe this Alchemist will have a much easier time farming than the Juggernaut, but, you know, illusion runes with Rubik, so he's just, you know, running around hitting people with that extreme 51 damage. Not to mention the debuffs it gets for breeding illusion, but we see some pings already, so it looks like they're going to get keen on Jakiro. We're going to see a throw up by the Rubik and then an immediate light ray. We're going to see a nice pass get missed by the Jakiro. Stun thrown in on the Lena, in fact, and then we see an impale. Lena is going to make it out, in fact, though, so no first blood from either team there. Light strike array seemed a little bit early, so maybe missed time, but not enough damage to get the first blood on the Jakiro. That being said, though, the counter gank was not bad actually, because they did more to the Lena than they did to the Jakiro, so not very rewarding that trade. So, well, not in favour of the attacking side. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Meanwhile, top lane, it looks like Bounty Hunter's been taking a beating. We see some pings bottom again, so looking for this Nyx Assassin. They ping out to the sentry, so it's going to get spotted out. Nyx is going to de-ward, however, but he's going to get caught out by the Rubik and Lena. Few auto attacks, and it should see him back off. In fact, it does. Thought I heard something happening in down here, so I had a look, but nothing was happening. So yes, the Lena and the Rubik, a few auto attacks on the Nyx, you know, bringing him down a little bit, but a Tango will bring him back up to an adequate amount of HP. Top lane is actually quite interesting. They've been trading blows quite a bit, but it seems like the Weaver is winning. In fact, the Weaver is using his last bit of regen, and the Bounty Hunter is in fact going to remove it, so that's not a bad little play there. Baiting out the salve and getting rid of it. 2 points into concoction? Unstable concoction? Oh, I fucking hate that word, but means that the unstable concoction will be doing quite a bit more damage, so look out for them. Extremely strong stuns. Not to mention the 1 point Greevil's Greed, making Alchemist farm a little bit easier. He's got a few items coming to him on the Courier too, so, you know, Magic Wand, it's gonna be coming quite in handy. Meanwhile, Nature's Prophet seems to be having quite a bit of trouble in this mid lane, so against Bloodseeker, but it's with Blood Rage, you know, it does increase that damage, but as a trade, you take a little bit of, you know, health over time.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well, still in the bottom lane, still just seems like passive farming. To be honest, it looks like there's more happening in the top lane, but
middle tower, everyone, go now!
Can't be everywhere at once. If there is a first blood likely to happen, it is going to be in this lane, though, so... Well, I'd assume it would be. Jakiro throws down the Ice Path, is going to catch 2 in fact, but no follow-up, so they're going to get out of that okay. An odd time to actually use that Ice Path, because the Nyx Assassin actually was running off, not to mention they're just next to the tower, so very interesting time to use it. Alchemist is actually almost about to level up, so just sitting in front because the Nyx Assassin has been able to go and stack and pull creep camps. But Alchemist now hitting level 4. He's going to put another point into Greevil's Greed, so he's not going to go for that. The Acid Spray. If you have a quick look at top lane whilst they're trading before anything happens in bottom, the Weaver is absolutely smashing this Bounty Hunter when it comes to the last hits. He just seems to be getting them a lot better than... easier than the Bounty Hunter is able to, but probably because the Weaver's Sakuchi cooldown is, and mana usage is a lot, better, easier, whatever word you want. That being, actually no, the mana cost is a little bit more, but, yeah. Interesting. Anyway, we see mid lane. Bloodseeker is going to get killed by the Juggernaut, but he's going to get the Rupture on him just in time for the so to see a kill on the Bloodseeker, to see a kill on the Juggernaut. So
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So first blood going in favour of the Juggernaut, I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken. It was actually Nature's Prophet, but Bloodseeker getting actually one off that gank, so probably a win for the Radiant, considering that, you know, they've had to rotate 4 players into that lane to try and get the kill. Meanwhile, top lane we see the 3 supports head up, and the Juggernaut has decided to, well, give up on bottom lane and head up to top, so... This means we're going to have a free farm Alchemist who is going to get very big very quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another point in Greevil's Greed once he hits level 5, in fact we do. So he's going to get farm very quickly, very fast, and it's going to be very scary when it comes around to the 25-30 minute mark. I imagine Bloodseeker is going to be looking for revenge on Prophet for what Prophet has done. We see a gank, Ice Path on, and a Twin Breath by the Jakiro on the Nature's Prophet, along with a Rupture and a Blood Rage, making so the Prophet couldn't do anything, and a successful gank going in favour of the Jakiro. So, very good transition in there by the Jakiro, picking up the rune, coming in and getting there. Anyway, in top lane we see a... Oh, nice, very nice time lapse by the Weaver. We saw the throw up by the Rubik, the Light Strike Array on the Lina, and last but not least, and then so it seemed like what would seem like a kill on the Weaver, but he time lapsed and got out fine. So one thing you always have to worry about when it comes to Weaver is he's going to have his time lapse, and basically any damage you do in that short period of time, he's just going to bring back. Top lane falling anyway. Top lane falling anyway to the Rubik picking that one up. So the first tower of the game, 8.5 minutes in, going to the DotA. We see some supports rotating into the middle lane now, probably looking to go on this Jakiro. Be interesting to see what they do. In fact, they're just probably going to push this lane out because, you know, they've already taken top. It's gone good for them, so they thought, why not? Obviously, nice path in by Jakiro, hitting the Lina, but not doing no follow-up damage by anyone because there's no one there. Track on the Jakiro, so if he gets killed, it's a little bit more damage taken off for him. Teleport in by the Bloodseeker. He's going to rupture the Juggernaut. Silence and an impale on the Juggernaut. Juggernaut is going to get auto attack down and die. Light Strike Array is going to hit the Bloodseeker. A few auto attacks by the Nature's Prophet, and the rest of them going to get out. So a tower for a player trait, not overly good, but all right. Nyx Assassin barely escaping with his life. Lucky, lucky, lucky. But so 1-for-1 trade, I guess you could say. At the mid lane, teleport in by the Juggernaut, so they'd be looking to go. In fact, Weaver dropping down quite low, but is going to time lapse out and be fine. Ice path in on by the Jakiro on the Bounty Hunter. I'm not going to do anything. Maybe no follow up, so they're just going to back right off. Alchemist is starting to catch up to his friendly Weaver, so it's going to come in quite in handy. He's on Chemical Rage now, so now when he gets a bit low, he's going to be able to jump, get his health back to where he likes it. So all good there. Hand of Midas, in fact, already on this Alchemist. Well, I'd say already, but he has lost. He didn't have quite the best start with the. See Chemical Rage now anyway on the Prophet, and we see the stun come on, and well, Prophet's just going to drop. Unstable Concussion plus Weaver, like, you know, lots of damage going up there. Rubik's going to throw up the Weaver, in fact, though. But the track is going to be able to see him. We're going to see an Impale on the Rubik, and the Jakiro coming in to help and pick up the Weaver. Unstable Concoction from the Alchemist is not going to connect with anyone, so 2-for-0 trade there. Alchemist will be very happy with that, picking up one of the kills in that, so with his Midas coming on the way, he's up for 650 gold. Fun, fun. Nyx Assassin coming in the back, going to hit the invisible Bounty Hunter with his Impale, but it's going to happen. Meanwhile, mid lane, Bloodseeker is going to use Rupture and his Rage on the Nature's Prophet, but because it gives you that increased damage, Nature's Prophet is just going to auto attack the Bloodseeker down and finish him off. Such a pain in the ass. What is it? The Blood Rage. Because yes, you do take damage, but you're giving your opponent a lot of damage. We're going to see a go on the Alchemist. Alchemist is going to pop his Chemical Rage, but he's not going to make it. Through his concoction, he started to cook that. He threw it. He probably could have run off and survived, but he decided to try and get a kill and come off unsuccessful. A teleport in to bottom by the Bloodseeker, so we'll probably be seeing a team fight here very soon. Jakiro looking to go, but the Rubik and Lean are backing off. Juggernaut's actually going to come back in with a healing ward. Bloodseeker showing that he's down here. Waiting for his Rupture to come back up. 5 seconds. He's going to come in. He's going to throw his Blood Rage on the... we're going to see a concoction on the Bounty Hunter, and the Twin Breath is going to kill him off. see the ulti by the Juggernaut is going to, in fact, you know, do a bit of damage, and his auto attacks should bring down the Jakiro. We see Concoction on the Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet getting dropped down. Alchemist picking up that kill, so a 2-for-1 trade with the Nature's Prophet ulti picking up the Jakiro, the rest of the Jakiro. Time lapse by Weaver is going to get him out of that. Wasted Dust up top. Not getting that one. And Nature's Prophet bought back then too, but because he bought back, he was able to use the Wrath of Nature and get the kill. We see a throw up by the Rubik on the Bloodseeker, who's going to hit the Nyx Assassin, but Rubik is going to drop down. We see Juggernaut trying to run away, but because Bloodseeker's passive, he's going to get find the kill. Impale on the Prophet, and a Concoction from the Alchemist is going to see the death of the Nature's Prophet. So, with all the buybacks and teleports back down, you know, Nature's Prophet died twice in that fight. We saw the death of the Bounty Hunter, I believe, the Lena, and the Rubik, I'm pretty sure was in there too, so 2 kills to the Weaver in that, and Alchemist picking up the Nature's Prophet, so you see our first Acid Spray, missed Ice Path, but Alchemist throwing the Concoction on the Bounty Hunter just in time before he went invisible, before he couldn't throw it again, so... But we'll see the push on this bottom lane. Alchemist using his Chemical Rage to man up and hit a bit harder. You're going to see a throw up by the Rubik on the Alchemist. Sprout is going to catch the Alchemist, but Alchemist is going to use his Quelling Blade to get out. Macropire by the Jakiro. We see the Concoction get thrown 1.5 seconds on the Lena. Nature's Prophet Wrath is going to hurt Weaver a lot, and then the Rubik Fade Bolt is going to finish him off.
That bottom tower you bad dudes had was crap anyway, don't sweat it.
We're going to see a push now on this bottom lane. Jakiro backing right off because he doesn't want to be anywhere near this. Weaver buying back and coming back in. He's going to get tracked though, so it's not going to be helpful. Weaver throwing his bug so we can see. Alchemist popping Chemical Rage. He's going to throw down his Acid Spray too. It's going to stop the push quite heavily too, because it does do quite a bit of damage, especially like even at low levels. Fade Bolt by the Rubik, and a throw up is going to see the Alchemist. We're going to see the Juggernaut ultimate, but only with 1 point in it, the Omni Slash, is going to, you know, not do enough damage. We see the Rupture on the Juggernaut is going to help Weaver pick up the final kill. Fade Bolt on the Alchemist again. Alchemist is going to try and get away, but Rubik has the Sukuchi. Rubik is actually going to get picked up. So he's going to run in range of the tower and get picked up. Alchemist getting picked up in that fight as well. We're going to see Nature's Prophet come back in. Bloodseeker was trying to get in, but he put the Blood Rage on the Prophet again, so, you know, not enough damage. Nyx Assassin Vendetta with an Ice Path by the Jakiro is going to see the death of the Nature's Prophet. And, you know, very big trades there. Very big. I'm pretty sure it was even in that fight. I'm not too sure whose favour it went for, but that's what happened. Nature's Prophet is in fact going to have his Shadow Blade now, so it's going to be even more tricky to kill him. Alchemist getting killed again. Almost got a BKB, however. 4-2. It's not a bad score, especially for an Alchemist. Who wants to be farming all game? With only 58 last hits at 16 minutes, you know, it's, you know, he could have done better, especially since he had so much free farm for so long, but, you know, they decided to stay in the lane for such a long time too. And he ended up getting, positive 2 kills, so with his Midas now, it's going to make it so much easier for him to farm, especially with 4 points in Grievel's Greed. Makes it easy. Makes it very easy. I wish I was this Alchemist right now, to be honest. Like, you know, the amount of gold you are raking in is quite ridiculous. It's, you know, a lot. Every creep plus, you know, I think it's 30 is the max, or 28. It's a fair decent amount. Meanwhile, top lane, Bloodseeker's looking for this Rubik, but can't find him. Weaver's going to hang around a little bit. Juggernaut's going to head back because he knows it's not safe. Nature's Prophet's in the jungle, using his Wrath to farm a little bit. Bounty Hunter's coming in to looking at his Jakiro. A few pings to the bottom lane We see Lena starting to rotate down, but she is in fact going to throw up an observer ward. We see the illusion room. Someone pick up the illusion room there. Pings on this tower. We're going to see Bounty Hunter use a track on the Jakiro, but back off. As we see Alchemist go back to free farming. Meanwhile, Juggernaut seems to just be walking around in circles. Like, he doesn't seem to be doing much. He's only level 8. He needs more levels so he can get another point in Omni-Slash so he can start doing a bit more. But Jakiro's going to throw up the Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter's going to get spotted out. He's going to, in fact, use the Rupture on the Bounty Hunter, but Rubik is going to find that and use it on the Weaver. But because Weaver's not going to do anything, he's just going to stand around. He's going to back off. Omni-Slash on the Weaver, however, by the Juggernaut is going to see the death of him. See the Nyx Assassin get a 2-man impale. Got a bit greedy because even though there was 4 of them come in, but got his Spike Arrow slot and got out okay. Ice Path by the Jakiro is going to connect with one of them, and he's going to back off. Rubik picking up the Jewel Breath is going to throw it on the Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker should be alright, and he is, but we see the Ice Path come out, and the Nyx Assassin get picked up by the Nature's Wrath. So a 2-for-1 trade then. Not too good in the Dire's favour, but in the Radiant favour, I should say. But the Dire are going to be sitting happily. Another 2 kills, it's going to make it easier. Juggernaut now level 9, so he's 1 step closer to getting that last point, the second point into his ultimate Omni-Slash, and being able to do a bit more burst damage when it comes to that. Weaver is going to come in and put a few hits on the Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet is actually doing a bit of damage, but nowhere near enough as much as this Weaver. He's going to back out with his Shadow Blade, though. We see rotation in bottom by the Thingo. We're going to see a Rupture on the Rubik, but Rubik is going to use Sakuchi and try and get out, but oh, unlucky, as the Weaver Geminite is going to finish off Rubik. So even though he was ruptured, he decided to steal Sakuchi, stand there for a little bit, wait for it to cool down and run out again, but getting picked up by the Weaver in the end. Alchemist has got his BKB now, so he's going to be having a great time. Nyx Assassin using Impale, but it's only a illusion. Decided to throw a... I'm pretty sure that Jakiro just threw a dust, in fact he did. Not saying anyone, they thought that maybe Bounty Hunter was hanging around, but dust being unsuccessful. Bottom lane, the Weaver is coming down. He's going to do a bit of wanting to do a bit of damage. He's going to throw a dust on the Prophet, on the Prophet, and he should find him. He's going to use a few Geminite attacks. Not enough to kill him. However, almost with that Sakuchi, but not quite enough. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Rubik was getting destroyed. Mid lane actually, so looks like Bloodseeker popped his Rupture and threw a 4-star on him. Very old school Bloodseeker build, but getting the kill. See some pings on the Nyx Assassin with a invisibility ward there, rune there. So if one of the supports want to pick that up, Macropire and an Ice Path is going to be thrown down, but it seems like a bit of a waste, especially considering that it's such a big team fight, like a team fight spell. Could have been used in such a better place, but I'm pretty sure the cooldown isn't extremely large. In fact, it is only 60 seconds. So, you know, he's going to have it in a minute anyway, so throw it down, see if you can hurt someone. Holds them out of fights for, well, you know, just that extra few seconds. Make it a little bit easier. We're going to see Nature's Prophet come in with the Shadow Blade, Rubik has stolen Ice Path, and Lena is going to use her Laguna Blade to finish off the kill. Meanwhile, over in the jungle, Alchemist is going to see the Rubik, but he's going to get stunned down by the Ice Path and the Light Strike Array, so doing a bit there. Weaver has decided to rotate in from the into the bottom lane, but is going to get tracked, so begun the time lapse out of the track and run off. This should be the death of the bottom lane. In fact, it is. We see another track on the Weaver, so he just used his time lapse. He won't be able to get out of this one, and the Fade Bolt picking him up for the final kill. So that's the last tier 1 tower of this game that dropped. In fact, at the start that the Dire were having, I was expecting them to pick up the first lot of tier 3 towers, but you know, with patience, the Radiant come in and did it for it. Did the first lot themselves. Chikiro is going to continue farming bot lane. Bloodseeker is in the jungle now, so he's got a Sage. He'll want a Yasha, so he can start chasing people at insane speeds. Prophet's going to teleport into the Roshan pit. It looks like they're going to Roshan. They're going to smoke in, and in fact it is going to be... Yep, they're going to go in. See the wards dropped by the Lena, and here we go. In the Roshan pit. Will this be spotted out? It won't be spotted out by the Radiant. They have no idea what's actually going on in here. So it'll be a rude shock when it comes up that it has been slain, and here it is. I believe the Juggernaut will be picking it up. In fact, he will be, so... Here come the Dire, with an Aegis, the Immortal. They were looking to go down middle lane. Radiant is still spread out a little bit, trying to cover as much as possible. If we have a look at the experience and gold, it's just in favour of the Radiant because the Dire have been 5-manning a lot more than the Radiant have been, and as a result, they have had to share the experience that they've been earning. And with that, the gold as well. Not a huge advantage, only 2,500 I believe it was. Just 5,000 in front. Going to see a Dust by the Weaver trying to see that Bounty Hunter, but Bounty is just going to get out of range. Is going to get it out of range and just missed the Dust. So unlucky for Weaver, very lucky for Bounty Hunter.
Illusion.
Bounty Hunter picking up Illusion. He goes scouting with this Illusion. Make it look like it's, you know, a fake, you know, like him, basically. And see if he can bait out any ultis or anything. It's always be good. Alchemist has got a Hyperstone now. He would be cheering, especially with his plate mail now. Plus 10 armor. He's heaps. He'll be heaps happy. He's going to be in those fights a lot longer now. So with the AC pickup, recipe pickup now, going to be quite in front. Nature's Prophet's going to get caught out though. Vendetta and Ice Path with an Impale on top of him. Sakuchi coming in with a twin breath, and auto attacks from the Weaver will finish him off. So Nature's Prophet getting quite aggressive in that jungle, going to get picked off for it. Meanwhile, top lane we see some pings on the Bloodseeker. Looks like they're keen to go on him. Teleport rotation in by the Chikiro, so Chikiro is going to be here, ready to do something. We see pings on the Bounty Hunter, but he's going to run off. Alchemist getting his AC now, very big team item. You know, giving you allies extra armor and reducing the armor of the enemies. It's fantastic item. Bounty Hunter scouting around, not going to see anyone, is going to back off, back to mid, towards mid. Yeah, he's going to go towards mid. The Rubik is going to find the Alchemist and is going to throw him up and back towards the teleporting Juggernaut, who's going to come in and use his Omni Slash. BKB is going to be put up by the Alchemist. We're going to see Chemical Rage, however, come up, and he's not going to be able to die. He's going to find the Bounty Hunter, but the Rubik Fade Bolt is going to come in and finish off the kill. We're going to see a Rupture and a Rupture, Blood Rage, and a Force Staff on the Lena, who's going to see the death of her. Nature's Prophet is coming in. He's going to use the Shadow Blade and get out, but a nice Ice Path plus, whatever else was there, I guess. I think they used the Blood Rage on him too. But he is going to find himself out quite easily. Meanwhile, bot lane is getting pushed out by the Weaver and the Nyx Assassin.
Bad dudes, middle tower, everyone, go now!
I'm surprised how long that Alchemist lasted then on that such little HP. Chemical Rage, 60 health regen, whilst in the middle of a fight, you're not going to die too soon, but used it just a bit too late. I'm not too sure if it was on cooldown or not, but used it a little bit too late and saw him die then. Bloodseeker is going to run off. Weaver's going to get picked up. We should see a time lapse here, I'd assume. Yes, we are. He's not going to make it out, however. Rupture on the Rubik is going to see the death of him. We're going to see a track on the Bloodseeker. Twin Breath by the Jakiro, but the Juggernaut Ward is going to help heal him up a bit. Macropyre by the Macropyre and Macropyre and Ice Path is going to stop down that push. Here comes Alchemist. Here comes Alchemist with all his items, all his farm. He's coming in with an AC and Chemical Rage. He's going to be doing a bit of damage. We should see a concoction now. It's going to hit. It's going to connect. Here goes Lena. They're going to find Nature's Prophet. Jakiro coming in from the back. Teleport in. Buyback and teleport in by the Rubik, I think. Or it might have been buyback. Well, I'm not too sure. The Bloodseeker's going to get picked up, thrown back. Omni Slash on the Bloodseeker. This should see to death, but he's going to force stuff out and try and deny himself, but the Shuriken by the Bounty Hunter is going to find the kill. Meanwhile, Jakiro is going to teleport out, so not enough time. Rubik was just out of range to throw him up and cancel the teleport. That Alchemist looking very scary as the game goes on, especially with his Chemical Rage up. And now that he has an AC, he'll be looking to... I'd assume he'd be looking to go for a basher to lock down the enemies. Get a good 2-3 bashes, and that's a dead hero. Like, the amount of attack speed and damage you end up doing as Alchemist, it's a fair bit, And it goes through BKB, so no point of buying it. The best thing they can do is what this Rubik has done and got a Ghost Scepter to stop him from attacking and stop it getting those bashes, but either way, we see the Alchemist at bottom doing what he does best, farming. He's coming in, hitting all these Prophet creeps. Impaled by the Nyx Assassin. Is going to see two of them, but Rubik's going to throw up with the Light Strike Array on top. Here comes Alchemist on the Rubik, however, and he's going to see the kill. Nyx Assassin's going to keep going, find Nature's Prophet, going to throw a Shuriken. Impale is going to miss. Bloodseeker's coming in, he's going to use Rupture. He's going to absolutely throw the shit out of this Lena, and the Rupture is going to finish off that kill. Blood Rage on the Bloodseeker, on the Bounty Hunter, not enough time. The Fade started and then he threw it down, so unlucky there. But Alchemist going back to farming. He's going to be getting that. He's already got a basher, so that'll be on its way now. Weaver is going to get tracked by the bounty. So while all that fight was happening, whilst Radiant was winning that fight, they still had the Weaver up in top lane, hitting that tower down, so it's a little bit smaller. Weaver is going to time lapse, and he should Sakuchi, but no, he's going to see another time lapse is going to stop the track, and another track we see, but the Omni Slash by the Juggernaut is going to see the death of that. Not to mention help from the large Satyr, the Satyr Tormentor, with his shockwave is going to help. Is going to help the will help the Weaver kill off the bounty hunter. So Bloodseeker farming, but Nyx and Jakiro searching around, looking to do something. Prophet with an Orchid, so he's going to stop, say, Weaver or Alchemist from popping any abilities. It's going to be very helpful for him. I'd assume the next item he might be going for would be a Hex, which will, you know, really slow down that Alchemist when it comes into those team fights, unless he pops that BKB, but then you're only really unlucky. Weaver picking up a Lincoln Sphere, so it's going to be handy for him. Bloodseeker running in is going to use his Rupture on the Leaner and see the death of him. Rubik wanting to use his throw, he's actually got the Rupture and he's going to use it with, along with a, you know, with the Fade Bolt is going to see the death of him. Who was that? That was Rubik getting caught out in the end by the Ice³. We see the track on the by the Alchemist. I'm pretty sure Alchemist picked up that Rubik killed. In fact, it was Weaver. We see Unstable Concoction be used on this Rubik again, and Alchemist is going to come in and pick him off again. So a buyback and the death. Again, Ice³ is going to miss everyone, but Impale's going to come in and hit this Juggernaut. But Juggernaut is going to use his Omni Slashes last second, at the last possible second, and get the kill. And we see the GG call by the DotA. So Alchemist got very out of hand in that game. Never let an Alchemist free farm. You know, you're going to regret it too. With the Bloodseeker coming in from the behind, with the Rupture and all that sort of business, you know, it's going to be really hard to stop that. Nature's Prophet, he probably could have went around and started split pushing, but the GG was called. And that's game 1 of the 14th of August 2013. I hope you look forward to seeing my next cast, which will be in a few minutes if anyone's ready for that. Alright, see you then.